or your slogan or sa pana nga murag makaka-indicate sa imong technology, you can apply for trade. Then copyright, original works, authorships. Industrial design is the aesthetic features. So sa na-mention ganiha, it's just a chair, but it has a different features. You can just apply it for industrial design for its aesthetic features. Then geographical indications, so product originating in an area. For layout designs, integrated circuits, topography or special arrangement and elements of integrated circuits. So engineering people can relate to this. Then trade secrets or business secrets like this is good for the huge or established ng mga businesses. So for registration, of course, I fulfill na jud tanan apply for registration. But for the copyright, you can apply for the National Library. And trade secrets pagkakaroon kay dili pa siya ma-register. Next test that you will undergo in applying. So sa patent, you have to check for its novelty, non-obvious, or industrial applicability. So same with utility model, pero as mentioned ganiha, naalay dili it does not undergo two substantive examination, so mas dali ang approval for utility model. Then trademark does not duplicate an existing mark. So you can not just simply like make a simple improvement to any logo. Okay, dili siya na siya ma-approve. Originality sa copyright, it should be original. Wala gipaagi og kilbot or any paraphrasing tool. But it's a hack or matawag tag original, pero the people from IPOFIL are very experts on this. Next, for geographical indication, product should originate in geographical area. So one example is in Bohol, since we apply for Ginampay and Asinti Buok. So people from IPOFIL really went here to Bohol, visit Bohol, and do a research if it's really originated here in Bohol. Then for the layout designs, it does not duplicate our existing design or any or arrangements. So how to obtain? So same tanan, it's obtained by registration. Next, for the duration, patent is valid for 20 years from date of filing, not from date of approval registration. So from the filing date, palandaan, 20 years for patents, 7 years for utility model, for trademark, 10 years, renewable every 10 years as long as it is used. So you will be asked for any proof if you will be renewing your trademark after 10 years. Then copyright, it's lifetime plus 50 years after death of the author. Industrial design is 5 years, renewable for not more than 2 consecutive terms for a total of 15 years. Then geographical indication, as for now, it's 10 years. For the layout designs, integrated circuits, it's 10 years. The trade secrets, as long as it remains a secret. Okay, So now, since you will be doing a workshop later, so if you have an idea, do a patent search. Miss Alisa will teach you how to do the patent search to check if your idea is novel, and then conduct a research to optimize your product and to document your product as well. And if you are a team conducting the research, you must have a non-disclosure agreement, meaning nobody from the group or the team can disclose the idea. And conduct a product testing and market evaluation. Then you have your product, then apply for IP protection, patent, utility model, copyright, trademark, industrial design before disclosing it to the public. So, very important, always remember protect first before disclosing. Thank you, everyone, for listening and have a good day ahead.
Thank you, Miss Donna, for enlightening us on the concept and significance of this intellectual property rights system and to the different types of IPs which we might utilize in protecting our intellectual properties. I think this webinar is very timely for us fourth years students since most of us are undergoing research projects. Am I right? And we might use this information if we desire to make patents or copyrights for our research. Again, let's give one more round of applause to Miss Donna F. Boates. Now we would like to open the floor to any questions or comments that our attendees may have. Please feel free to use the chat box to type in your questions and we will address them as they come in. I think the presentation itself is informative enough. However, it is best to discuss ideas through interaction. So please feel free to type your questions, raise questions about the topics discussed so that we could convey our ideas about it. Any questions from the participants, the attendees of this webinar? So while waiting for the questions from the participants, I would also like to acknowledge our research instructors joining with us today in our webinar. I would like to acknowledge the presence of those instructors whom I knew. To Engineer Maria Jessica Morigo, the chairperson of the Civil Engineering Department and our instructor for the CE project. And greetings to Engineer Mildred Gabagnot. Partner, do you have any instructors here?
Yes, partner. I would like to welcome also our research instructor in BSME, Mrs. Jessa Eraldine Orihines. Good morning, ma'am.
So good morning. Okay, so we have our first question. Okay, it's from my partner, BSME4B, so Curdy Buntia. The question is it true that giving credit to the original creator is enough to use any image found on the internet? So,
Okay. Is it true that giving credit to the original creator is enough to use any image found on the internet? To Kurdi Buntia, yes, it's enough to just simply quoting the creator or the source of your image in like posting your in creating nasa man sa imong mga projects or sa kuan like in just merely posting any image or onto the internet, it's enough to just simply quote the source para di ka ma-infringe. Like, so that's it. I think Ma'am Alisa can add.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay, regarding the copyright, so it is said that copyright is from the moment of creation, it is considered as copyright. But it is a copyright is a prima facie, so it is a voluntary. Basura kayo. It is a voluntary deposit. So, mag-create ka, dapat imuhang creation is original or derivative work. So, pag himuan na nimo, so automatic na siya nga copyright. But if you want nga in case og naay mga third party kintahay nga mo object or mo gamit sa imong work, so mo nang voluntary siya para naakay ikapakita nga certificate nga you own that work. Then as to the question of is it true that giving credit to the original creator is enough to use any image found on the internet? Yes, pwede basta ma-fall siya under fair use. So if the purpose sa paggamit nimo ana nga work is for educational purposes, for critics, so pwede siya nga di na ka mag-ask og permission. But if gani kanang maka-generate ka ana og money, so dana nga tay maka-infringe ka ana kay ang imong gi-violate ana is the economic rights of the original creator.
So thank you for those insights, ma'am. That will be very beneficial for us. And the second question, we have a question from Baisomain Desirel Jain to Ma'am Po Saligomba. And her question is, good morning, ma'am. Are infographic layouts included in the application for copyrights? So, Ma'am Buates. So,
I think is the best person to answer is Dr. Angeline Baldapan. Elihio.
okay. So, is it ma'am?
It's best to ask Dr. Angeline Baldapan.
Okay. I think this question is addressed to Ma'am Baldapan.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So can you
Ma'am Angeline is in authority to answer such. Ma'am
Can
Ange,
answer
take it
for
over.
So the question, ma'am, is graphic layouts included in the application for copyrights?
Yes, it could be included in copyright application. Pwede kayo. Pero again, as to what Miss Alisa has said earlier, the moment of creation, and from the moment of creation, it's already yours. So for formality and for proof that you are the owner of that copyright, so it must be deposited in the copyright section.
Okay, thank you.
So even if the even if the
Yes, yes.
information that were being posted or kanang na-include dito sa infographics are coming from a certain source, okay ra gyapon siya i-copyright.
Yes, okay lang ta nga okay lang ta og magkuha bits lang of information from the internet as long as we will express it in our own way. So expressing it in our own way meaning there should be explanations nga imong kaugalingon lang. Dili gyud ang copy paste, dili gyud ang verbatim nga pagka-tipits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I think the question is answered. So we will proceed to the next question from James Lord Vertudazo. Good morning. There was an example wherein the inventor was credited after accidentally discovering the IP. So as an example, if we're working towards one goal and accidentally came up with an entirely different process that would be beneficial for an entirely different application, what would that imply? So, to whom it may concern, you can answer this question po. Ma'am Buates, Ma'am Gagapan.
Um, is James Lord Bertodaso referring to the example I've given a while ago on the erythromycin na accidental, ano sa to siya? Ay, or the patis. Ang saan mo yung pasak? Kay, it's different, the era before is different now. Kay karon since we are already, like, naano kay law on it, on IP protection, and it's very best for us to like apply for protection kay sa naiya no. Kay kung kamo nga like kani si James na naka-discover kuno kay siya og technology accidentally came up with an entirely different process. What was that? Isa. Good morning. There was an example wherein the inventor was credited after accidentally discovering an IP. So an example, if we're working towards one goal and accidentally came up with an entirely different process that would be beneficial for an entirely different application, what would that imply? Isa, nag-give sa yung question. Sam, you're smiling. Oh, sige, Sam.
Hey, regarding the question, I just need to clarify. Is this mean nga bali nag-create mo og another technology or gimodify ninyo ang existing nga technology, Mr. James?
Mr. James?
Yeah, create ma'am. So the first statement is the inventor was created after accidentally discovered the IP. So if we're working towards one goal and accidentally came up with an entirely different process that would be beneficial for entirely different application, what would that imply? So if there is an existing technology, then imo na siyang i-modify, so it will resort to a different process, different na siya na technology. So katong modification nga imuhang gihimo, so moato siya imong i-apply for another IP protection. So katong existing nga technology injo man siyang gi-modify, so katong modification namo na to siya inyong i-apply for a different application. It could be a patent if naa siya inventive steps, or if it is just a mere kuan lang siya modification ra na ray gamay nga changes, so it could be a utility model, because utility model requires a novelty and industrial applicability, not the novelty, inventive steps, and industrial applicability. So usually, if modification na siya sa existing product or existing technology, usually it falls under utility model application.
So there's a follow-up question, ma'am, from James Lord Vertudazo. Would it be considered an intellectual property, ma'am, if it didn't come from the inventor but a result of chance?
So meaning to say, dili siya mo nag-create. So, because the definition of a intellectual property refers to creation of human mind. So, I think basta ikaw naghimo, imo na siya nga work, imo na siya nga technology, then it falls under the intellectual property. Then if you file it for protection, you have this intellectual property rights over that technology.
Okay, thank you for that answer, ma'am. So, are there any questions? Please feel free to post your questions in the chat box so we could convey those informations. Okay. I think there's no questions anymore. So let's proceed. Let's proceed now to the second speaker. It is now my pleasure to introduce our second speaker, Miss Alisa May Busano. She will be delivering a presentation on the topic of patents, which is a critical component of intellectual property law. She will be discussing the key features of a patent, the different types of patents that exist, and the process for obtaining a patent. I am certain that her presentation will be engaging and informative, and I encourage all of you to pay close attention and take notes. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Miss Alisa May Busano. Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay, good morning again. So this is a continuation of the discussion of Ms. Buates, but we will focus more or discuss further about the patents, especially on the basic requirements for a patentability. So before I will start, so makasabot raman tag Bisaya, no? Bisaya man tatana, no? Because I will just using our vernacular language to discuss maayo. Sabot ra no wa may Korean, Chinese, dire no? So, putting aside, so allow me to present my screen for a while. Madungkod ako, ma'am? Okay. Okay. Maklaro na, no? Okay. Okay. So my topic is all about patents. So in the intellectual property of the Philippines, nana sila yung mga bureaus. So there is a Bureau of Patents, na Bureau of Trademarks, Bureau of Copyrights and Related Rights, na ay DITTB, na legal bureau. But if mag-apply mo for a patents for a utility model or industrial design, so under siya sa Bureau of Patents. So they are responsible on reviewing, granting of our patent application, utility model application, and industrial design application. So here, patents. So it was already presented ganiha. So patent refers to any technical solution to a problem in any field of human activity. So it is the solution of a problem. So, di ba, mag-create ang technology. So, natay problem nga gisolve ana. So, a patent is the result of your research. For example, if na may ma-develop na technology, so, pwede siya applyan for a patent protection. So, dapat na siya technical solution to a problem in any human activity. So, it is an exclusive right granted by the government for a product or process that is a novel or new, involve inventive steps, or not obvious to persons skilled in the art and industrial applicability, or it has a real life benefit. So, it is a temporary monopoly granted by the government to the inventor or assignee for a limited period of time over his technology. So in exchange pod sa detailed disclosure sa imong technology. So nganong kuan man siya na statement na limited period of time, because most of the IPR except the copyright, which is lifetime and 50 years beyond lifetime, and the trademark na perpetual iyang renewal. The other IPs like patent, utility model, industrial design, are nara siya certain period. So, dili siya renewable, ma-end na siya. Like for example, the patent is in only 20 years and non-renewable. Utility model is 7 years and non-renewable. Then, ang industrial design is 5 years, and you have 2 consecutive 5 years nga mag-renew, which is total siya for a 15 years ang iyang duration sa iyang protection. Then, when you apply for a patent, your technology is being compared to a closest prior arts, or closest prior art is any information nga available to the public before sa imong pag-file og protection sa imong technology. That is why we are going to have, or we will conduct a patent search to identify the novelty, inventive steps, and industrial applicability. Kaya mag-file mo for a patent, na maka-receive mo og written opinion report and patent search from the patent examiner. So, adto mag-cite sila og mga at least mga 3 or 4 closest prior art sa inyong technology din. Adto nila i-differentiate ang inyong kalahian, advantages and disadvantages. Then, if your technology will pass sa requirements for a novelty, or makapasar siya sa requirements for inventive steps and industrial applicability. That is why if we wish to apply for a patent, we need to undergo a patent search first to identify or to assess if potential ba siya or pwede ba siya for a patent application. So, apply for a patent if the difference is not of use. Okay, diba? The basic requirements for a patent is kanito lo. Novel, involve, inventive step, and industrial applicability. The most tricky part ani is kaning inventive steps. Kay pwede nga inyong technology novel siya and industrial applicability. So, pwede siya for utility model. But for patent, so dapat makapasar siya sa tulo. Novel, involve, inventive steps, and industrial applicability. So, kaning not obvious here is kaning involve, inventive steps. So, ani ra ba pod asahay ka na maglibog bitaw sa term nga umaingon gani og obvious, so meaning to say lacking inventive steps, or obvious siya to person skilled in the art. But when we use the term not obvious, so meaning to say involve inventive steps. So, not obvious siya to person skilled in the art. So, muna siya nga term nga ato ang kay murag libog siya nga part. So, again, og mayon ta og obvious, it is equivalent to lacking inventive steps. Og mayon ta og not obvious, it is equivalent to involve inventive steps. I hope it is clear. Then, a patent again is valid for 20 years from the filing date and non-renewable. So, same with the patent. Same with the utility model. So, after the 20 years, so it is considered now as a public domain. So, public domain is mga technologies na pwede na siya i-modify. Subject for modification na ang mga technologies nga na nasa public domain. So, pwede na siya nga i-modify, pwede na siya nga imong i-reference for another technology. Then, the exclusivity is territorial. So, territorial. So, if your protection is only here in the Philippines, diri ra ka sa Philippines nag-file, so the coverage of your exclusive right is only in the Philippines. So, muna siya. But if you wish nga, especially if your technology is potential for market in other countries, then apply for a application outside country, either Paris Convention or Patent Cooperation Treaty. So again, exclusivity right is territorial. So, imong protection is covered lang. Ang imong exclusive right is ana ra ka maka-gain og exclusivity right sa country nga imong gi-applyan for a protection. So I believe this was already presented by Ma'am Donna, the patentable invention. So I will just run through this. So, okay. Then also the non-patentable invention. So here, basic requirements of patentability. So first, we have a new or novel, or other words, novelty. Same na sila, new, novel, novelty. Inventive steps, and industrial applicability. So what is a prior art? So sige kog mention ganihan no nga it is when you apply for a patent, so i-compare siya to a closest prior art. So prior art is everything made available to the public. So refers to all information available sa public before the filing of your application. Like for example, nag-file kintahay kog application April 14. So all related technology sa April 13 backwards nga related sa ang technology is considered as prior art of my technologies. So it could be a written description, oral description, it could be a prior use, and or any other way before the filing date. So sa oral description kana mga presentation, kana mga conference, or kana atong mga madunggan sa TV. So pwede na sila nga ma-cite as prior art of our technology. That is why, or even kana mga gipang-post sa Facebook. So that is why be careful on posting your technology sa social media, especially if wala pa na siya ma-filean og protection. Kay basin og kana inyong gi-post nga technology is mo pa na hinuoy makapasango sa novelty sa imong technology yung mag-file na ka og protection sa imong technology. Pwede og novelty killing ang imong technology nga imong gi-divulge o na sa public. Mo na siya nga we advise that before you divulge your technology to the public, you need to protect it first. Because a prior art is any information public or published or disclosed in the public before the date of your application. So here, the first requirements for a patentability. Here is the new or novel or novelty. So it is not previously published or disclosed in any form anywhere in the world. An invention shall not be considered new if this form part of a prior art. So dapat para makapasar ka og novelty sa imong technology, dapat bag-o, walay kaparehas sa imong technology nga ma-considered siya nga new. So we have the term territoriality versus a novelty. So although the protection or the exclusive right is territorial, so the basis of the examination for your application is worldwide. So mo na siya nga mag-expecta nga mag-file ta og patent na ay mga gipang cite sa mga patent examiner nga mga prior arts nga made from other countries. Kay ang basis to test the novelty of your technology is katong mga prior arts worldwide if ma-consider ba nga novel ang inyong technology or not. So worldwide meaning your technology should not exist anywhere in the world. So it should be novel. Dapat bag-o siya. Because territoriality is it refers on the scope of protection. So sa exclusive right na siya nimo og asa cover imong exclusive right. If nagfile ka in the Philippines, so ang imong exclusivity right is within the Philippines ra siya. So imong exclusivity right, like for example, is your imong right nga mag-allow or disallow others from selling using your technology. So territorial siya, so asa ra ka nag-file protection adto ra ka maka demand sa imong exclusivity right. But in assessing the novelty of your technology, so worldwide ang ihang coverage ana to identify if your technology will pass the novelty requirement. So a prior art documents or disclosure takes away the novelty of any claimed subject matter when it is derivable directly and ambiguously from the prior art, including any features implicit to a person skilled in the art. And and the information given in the prior art document is sufficient to enable the skilled person to practice the teaching. So kaning person skilled in the art, mo ni sila ang mga expert to the field. So here, like for example, I have here a mag. So again, ang pag-test di ay sa novelty sa ka technology is i-compare na nila isa-isa sa existing nga mga technology. Like for example, ako'y gi-file nga technology, then the patent examiner mag-cite na silang mga 3 to 4 closest prior art of your technology. So kato ako ang define nga technology, i-compare ang ilang features sa prior art 1 or existing technology 1 or prior art 2, i-compare ilang features, prior art 3, i-compare ilang features, then or prior art 4, i-compare ilang features. So tagsa-tagsaon og compare og kinsay sa existing technology, kinsay maka novelty killing. If nara mo'y differences, then you will pass the requirements of a patentability. So like for example, here a mag. So the prior art is a mag, then your invention or your application is this one, a mag with a biscuit dispenser. So to test the novelty of the technology, this basta kay naamoy difference sa namoy bisin isa or duha ka features nga different sa existing technology, ma-consider na siyang novel ang inyong technology. Basta kato ang additional features sa imong technology is na siya technical effect sa overall sa imong technology or na siya surprising effect sa imong technology and na siya advantage over the existing technology. So like this one, so the prior art is a mag, then your invention is a mug with biscuit dispenser. So thus your application passed the novelty or not. So does it pass? So may I hear some answer? So again, to test the novelty of the technology, so tanawon og naaba mo'y kapariha sa inyong sa features ninyo, then if you have this feature or you have the additional feature, even if 1 or 2 additional features of your technology which is different to the existing technology, but that additional technology is na siya technical effects sa imong technology, then it could pass the requirements of novelty. So does it pass? Yes. Yes, it passed the requirements for e-novelty because of the addition na biscuit dispenser. So another example is here. So a mug with heat sensitive. So compared to the closest prior arts. So compared to the closest prior arts, so the closest prior art is just a plain mag, then your technology is na ka-additional feature to identify the heat sa imong mag, na kay heat sensitive mag. So the addition of heat, this feature nga mo identify ug unsa nakainiton sa imong technology, mo na siya makapanavel sa imong technology. So here. So to test the novelty is based on these 3 specific intended of use, selection invention, generic versus specific disclosure. So specific intended of use, so for example, a claim to a substance X for use as insect repellent would not be considered to be novel over the same substance known as a T. The T may be novel if the use referred to imply a particular form of the substance, the presence of certain additives which distinguishes it from the known form of the substance. So basta if you are using the same features, although lahi inyong uses, but you are using the same features, as in what jud mo'y ka kalahian, then pwede nga dili ka pasar sa novelty imong technology. But if you have a certain additives sa imong technology, then kana nga presence of certain additives is mo na siya makapanavel sa imong technology. So selection invention. So a selection invention relates to a subject matter which is selected from within subject matter already known from the prior art. So selected subrange is considered new if narrow compared to the known range, sufficiently far removed from any specific examples disclosed in the prior art and from endpoints of the known range, and not an arbitrary specimen of the prior art but a purposive selection linked to a new technical effect. So usually it falls mga mga ranging. Like for example, sa heating, for example, ang prior art is they are using 50 to 100 degrees Celsius. Then your application is nasud siya sa range sa prior art. So, if wala kay optimal efficiency or wali mo ma-explain sa imuhang specification, patent specification, ang optimal efficiency for using a 75 degrees Celsius, which is advantage nga if kana nga temperature gamiton mo na siya optimal efficiency. So it could pass the novelty, but if wala lang siya then na fall and na so siya sa range, then dili siya ma-considered as novel. So for generic versus specific disclosure, a generic disclosure does not take away the novelty of any specific example falling within the terms of that disclosure. However, the specific disclosure does take away the novelty of the generic claim, embracing that disclosure. Like for example, if the prior art is specific, then your application is public, then it takes away the novelty of your technology. But if your application is specific, then the prior art is generic, then it could pass the novelty of your technology. So, muna siya ang basis for the test of novelty. First is specific intended of use, selection invention, then generic versus specific disclosure. So here, for example, here in the table, so we have these features. We have feature A, feature B, feature C, and feature D. So your invention kaning second column, so mo na imong invention. So sa imong invention, so nakay feature A, nakay feature B, nakay feature C, nakay feature D. Then ang prior art 1 or the document 1 or existing technology nga gisite as prior art 1, ang ihang features nga naa is feature C. Then ang document B or prior art 2, ang features nga naa niya is feature A. Ang document C, ang features sa niya is ang features nga naa niya is all features like feature A, feature B, feature C, and features D. So as I said ganiha nga if para ma-test ang novelty sa imong technology is i-compare ang inyong features sa tanan nga existing technology. Individual nila na nga i-compare ang features sa imong technology ni prior art 1 or document A, i-compare ang mga features ni prior art 1 or prior art 2 or the document B and ni document C. So in view of document A, does your technology pass the requirements of novelty? Yes or no? So you can chat your answers. No? No? Why is it no? In view of document A, so document A ta. So as I said, ang inyong technology is i-compare na siya isa-isa sa gisite nga mga prior arts. Then i-compare lang features of same ba mo og features. So sa invention nimo, So naa kay feature A, feature B, feature C, and feature D. Ang document A, ang present ra niya nga feature is feature C. As I said ganiha nga, if naamoy kalahian na kay additional features nga wala sa existing technology, then that additional features is na siya technical effects sa imong technology, na siya advantages over that existing technology, so it could pass the novelty. So in view of document A, this invention pass the requirements of patentability? Yes or no? Yes. So, yes. So as I said, the invention is being compared each sa mga existing technology. So in view of document A, your invention could pass the novelty requirement since ang same ra nga feature ninyo is the feature C. So ang document A is wala siya feature A, wala siya feature B, wala siya feature D. Same with the document B, nga ang features sa pod nga di same mo is only feature A. So wala siya feature B, wala siya feature C, and features D. But in view of document C, in view of document C, your technology will not pass the requirements for a patentability because it was already claimed by the document C. So the same mo og features. Kumbaga, your technology is not novel na, dili na siya bag-o, kaya na ni-exist. Same mo og feature A, feature B, feature C, and feature D. So kaning document C is the novelty killing technology of your invention. Is it clear? Nasabtan ba ang about sa novelty? Klaro ba? So mo to siya bantayan to test the novelty of your technology. Then this one mo ni siya ang part of the invention spotting which will be discussed tomorrow to identify the novelty of your technology. Okay? So I hope clear as to the test of novelty. So next requirements is the inventive steps or not of use to persons skilled in the art. So inventive steps, an invention involves an inventive step if having regard to a prior art, it is not obvious to a person skilled in the art at the time of the filing date or priority date of the claiming the invention. So dapat dili siya obvious to a person skilled in the art. So who are this person skilled in the art? So aware of common general knowledge in specific art, has access to everything disclosed as the state of the art, and can observe development in related technical fields. So usually, person skilled in the art is refers to mga experts sa ana nga field. Then, we talk about inventive steps. So invention is shown by combining multiple prior art references or any difference over single reference is of use. So combine to test the inventive steps of your technology. It is being compared by combining of multiple prior arts. So here, same with the again, sa inventive steps is i-combine two or more existing technology. If ilan na silang i-combine, then if it result pag-combine sa feature A or pag-combine sa feature ni prior art 1 o pag-combine sa feature ni prior art 2, ini-combine ganin nila mo result sa amount technology, then it could not pass the requirements of inventive steps. So usually based sa mga na facilitate na mga application here in BISO, usually kani nga part nga inventive steps mo ni siya ang lisod pasron kay kuan magod ilang i-combine ang mga features sa mga existing technology. Pag combine gani nila og mo result sa mga technology, then dili makapasar siya as to the inventive steps. Kay pwede man nga makapasar imong technology sa novelty pero di siya kapasar sa inventive steps. So new imong technology pero obvious siya for a person skilled in the art. Maingan ang examiner nga sa ilahang written opinion report is kanang you are just combining the idea of this existing technology and like for example the idea of or the feature of prior art 1 and prior art 2, you are just combining the features to generate other technology. So katong pag-combine mo din naka-result pwede to siya nga manovel pero in terms of inventive steps so dili siya kapasar into inventive steps. That is why kanang pwede siya nga makapasar novelty and industrial applicability so pwede siya for utility model pero dili gani siya pero if patent gani siya dapat makapasar siya sa novelty and inventive steps. So pwede po na yung mga technology is di gani siya kapasar sa novelty then automatic na siya nga wala na po na siya inventive steps. So again, pwede yung mga technology nga makapasar to novelty pero wala yung inventive steps, then go for utility model. But if your technology is wala kapasar sa novelty, wala pa automatic na siya nga dili na po na siya kapasar sa inventive steps. So dapat mas maayo nga makapasar ta sa tulo ka requirements. Dapat novel ang ato ang technology, na siya inventive steps and industrial applicability. Again, for this table, so we have same with the test of novelty. So features, we have feature A, feature B, feature C, and feature D. So your invention is naa ana. So naa kay feature A, naa kay feature B, naa kay feature C, and naa kay feature D. Okay. Then the document then the document A na siya feature nga feature B, na siya feature C. Then the document B na siya feature A, na siya feature D. Then the document C na siya feature A and na siya feature B. So as I said, to test the inventive step of your technology, it is being compared to a combination of the multiple prior arts. It's either 2, 3, to i-combine ang duha ka prior arts. So arita sa example, in view of document B over document C, does your invention pass the requirements of inventive steps or not? So again, ari sa tauna sa B and C. In view of document B over document C, does your technology pass the inventive steps or not? Can I see answers in the chat box? So okay. So in view of document B over document C, thus the application or your invention pass the inventive steps or not. So again, ang pag-test sa inventive steps is if i-combine ang feature ni document B or document C, if i-combine gani sila, then mo result sa imong invention, then dili siya kapasar for inventive steps. So here, in view of document B over document C, does your application pass then requirements of inventive steps or not? Okay. So yes, in view of document B over document C, so your technology pass the requirement of inventive steps because if ato gani siyang i-combine ang ilang feature, so ang feature A, feature B, and feature D ra ang present sa technology. So wala sila feature C. So kaning feature C nga wala sa duha ka technology, existing technology, mao nay makapa-inventive steps sa imong technology. So mo na ibantayan nga dapat ini-compare, ini-combine sa duha or tulo ka documents or prior arts na ay naa kay features nga wala sa tulo para makapasar ka sa inventive steps. So same with in view of document A over document C, so your technology or the invention will pass the requirements of a inventive steps because ang document A wala siya feature D and document C wala siya feature D. But in view of document A over document B, the invention will not pass the requirements of novelty. Inventive steps. It's because atong i-combine ang feature ni A o ni feature ni B mo result siya sa imuhang technology. Kay si feature A na siya A o B, ang si document A na siya feature B and C, ang si document B na siya feature A and D. Then, atong i-combine. So, tanang features nga imong di-claim na asa duha. So, dili ka pasar as to inventive steps ang imuhang technology. Mo na siya nga based on my experience in facilitating IP application, usually sa mga formality examination nga ma-receive namo and substantive examination nga ma-receive namo, usually jud basta first written opinion report ana kasagaran nga moingon ang examiner nga claims kay ang ilang i-assess ani sa imuhang technology is your claims kay claims is the heart of a patent documents mo na siya ang na ana nila makita ano say ang say gi-claim ana nga technology so mo nang claims ang ilahang i-examine mo nga usually if sa inventive steps may na ng examiner nga claims 1 to for example you have claims 1 to 5 claims 1 to 5 does not pass the requirements of inventive steps in view of document A over document B nga na sila pero usually ilahang term use sa substantive examination and for written opinion report is document 1, document 2. Ano na siya. So, meaning to say, pag i-combine nila ang document 1 and document 2, so the features is the same sa result siya nga same ra sa mga technology. Same of features sa mga technology. Manang ikasagara na ma-receive nga does not meet the requirements of a inventive steps in view of document 1 over document 2. Then nana sila explanation nga nganong wala siya inventive steps. So pwede ka mo argue ana then naka ika-support nga explanation pero dapat na siya na disclose sa imong patent specification sa imong detailed description para maka prove ka nga na inventive steps ang imong technology. That is why it is also important sa kung mag-file ka og patent nga sa imong detailed description naka-disclose ang detailed descriptions of your technology. Okay. Ang detailed description pwede dili na siya pwede nimo otrohon or na magani kay changes pero ang ihang changes ra is like for example the punctuation, the kanang spelling, typo error, sorry. Pero kung mag-add kag additional subject matter is dili na siya pwede sa detailed description. Pero ang claims pwede na nimo ma-change ang claims based on the comments of the examiner. So pwedeng i-amend nimo imong claims. Pero dapat imong claims must be supported sa imong detailed description. That is why it is very important na sa pag-file nimo og patent application, ang imong detailed description is maayo imong detailed description. Kay para na kay basis if mag-amend ka sa imong claims. So that is for assessing identity to test the inventive steps of your technology. So another example here para mas masabtan. So here, your invention is you have this pencil, then the prior art one is the pencil. Then the prior art two is a eraser. So imong technology unsa may ginasolve nga problem ana kay di ba a patent is a technical solution to a problem. So kaning imong invention nga pencil, so unsa may problem nga gisolve nimo ana. So you can chat your answer in the chat box. So your invention, so sa may problem nga gisolve ana. Hello. So So, your invention, so ang problem nga gisolve sa invention nimo is the means of writing and erasing nga in one technology lang siya. Then the prior art one, the problem nga gisolve ani niya is for writing. Then the prior art two is for erasing. So here, as to test the inventive steps is i-combine ang features sa duha ka existing technology. So your invention na kay ang features sa imong invention is na kay body, na kay lead, na kay eraser, na kay metal plate. Then the prior art one, ang iyang features nga present is the body, the lead. Then the prior art two is the eraser. So if we combine the prior art one and prior art two, does your technology pass the inventive steps or not? Hello? Ma'am, napa ko, ma'am? Does it pass? Can I see some answer in the chat box? Yes or no? Yes? Na ay mo answer og no? Na ay mo answer og yes? So, does it pass? So, okay. So, as example lang ni siya ha. So, I know that there are taga na siyang type mas advanced pa nga classes sa lapis but for purpose of example. So, in view of prior art 1 over prior art 2, the invention will meet the requirements of inventive steps because of the presence of a metal plate. Kasi prior art 1, wala siya metal plate nga features. Samot na si prior art 2, wala siya metal plate nga features. Then, si metal plate, na ba siya technical effect sa imong invention nga makaingon ka nga advantage siya sa duha ka existing technology? Kay, di ba? As I said, so dapat ka na additional features nimo, dapat na siya technical effect sa imong invention nga mas advantage siya sa duha, 2 or 3 nga closest prior arts nga gi-identify. Yes, naa siya technical effect kay it holds the pencil and eraser together. So ang metal plate is the attaching means sa imong technology. Kay ang problem nga gisolve sa imong technology is for writing and for erasing nga just one ra siya nga technology. So as the example, so it meet the requirements of inventive steps because of the presence or the additional features of metal plate, which has a technical effect of your technology because it served as the attaching means sa imong technology. So mana siya, so ma-considered siya nga inventive step. Pero usapod sa bantayan para mo test or mo assess sa inventive steps sa inyong technology is the composition and process. Basin og different mo og process and composition. Like for example, sa imong invention, sa body. So compared to the prior art one. So lahi mo og materials ni gigamit sa paggama sa body. Kay di ba uban nga mga lapis is kanang gahi talhaan. Then kaning uban nga lapis kay humok ra siya. So maybe ana different mo og composition and process. So another one is the lead. So you need also to determine the lead or to differentiate the lead. Kay uban nga lapis is may uban is dali ra siya maputol. Then uban pud is dugay maputol. Then the composition also sa imuhang eraser. So muna siya i-consider to test the inventive steps sa imuhang technology. If ever magani sa ija mga parts gani kaprepreha mo, so ari ka mo mutan-aw ka mo go deeper ka tan-aw sa inyong composition o process nga gigamit pasin magkalahi mo. So ana nga magkalahi mo toy makapa inventive steps sa imuhang technology. Basta ang imong kalahian pod nga mas advantage ang imuhang features compare sa existing technology. Kay if ever magani different lagi mo og kanang feature, different mo process, different mo composition, pero mas advantage di ay ang isa. So dapat kana makuan pud nimo nga mas na technical effects sa imong technology. Or uban mo yung ng technology nga amo yun ang patin sa mena nga it is just a mere combination of the feature of the existing technology. Muna siya nga di ka pasar as to inventive steps ang inyong technology. So, here. So, another requirement. So, I hope it's clear. Clear ba ang sa inventive steps? So, can I see some answers in the chat box? So, clear ba? Klaro ba ang sa inventive steps, to test the inventive steps before we proceed to the other requirements? So, clear? So, I hear yes, ma'am. So, it's good. So, let's proceed to the third requirements for a patentability. So, industrially applicable. So, an invention that can be produced and used in any industry shall be industrially applicable. So, kaning industrial applicability, so, usually sa na-experience na facilitate nga IP application, mupasar siya, but kay usually nag-create ta og technology to solve a problem. So, magamit yun siya sa industry. So, basta na siya real life benefit. So, example of lack of industrial applicability. So, method of contraception are not industrially applicable. Perpetual motion machine, a ghost catcher, cleaning and boring process of root canal, a method of smoking, muna sila ang example of lack of industrial applicability. Then, who may apply for a patent? So, natural person, juridical person, or a body of person, a corporation, a partnership, or other legal entity recognized by law. So, when we apply for a patent, so naana siya sa forms, naana siya imuhang information nga need nga kuan. Ma'am, dira maklaro ang mga tingog sa kuan? Dilera? Sige. Okay. So pwede ra nga ang owner, for example, if it is a product of faculty sa BISO, then ang owner is the BISO, then ang inventor is katong the faculty. So, pwede po if dili siya product sa BISO, so pwede si Jay owner, si Jay inventor. Pero if kuan siya, if it is a result of a research siya nga nagtrabaho siya sa isa ka company or isa ka organization or institution, then gibayaran siya ana, Then the owner is the institution or the organization or the corporation. Then the inventor is katong person nga nag-invent sa technology. Then grace period or non-prejudicial disclosure. If the invention is already disclosed or published in a journal, demonstrate, sell, or discuss in public, the inventor can still file a patent within 1 year from the date of disclosure. Okay? So if i-divulge na nimo siya sa public, then na kay 1 year grace period. But di ta magpakampante sa 1 year grace period kay naay rule nga first to file rule. So if 2 or more persons have made the invention separately and independently of each other, the right to the patent shall belong to the person who filed an application for such invention, or when 2 or more applications are filed for the same invention, to the applicant who has the earliest filing date or the earliest priority date. So that is why we advise nga before disclosing to the public, protect it first. Kay basin nga unhan ka sa uban og file. So sayang kaayo imong kahago, lain ang maka-benefit. So example of that is the erythromycin. So siya ay naka-discover, tingipatas niya, pero pag create na sa drug, erythromycin, so lahi ang nag-own sa IP, then wala siya na-claim sin piso sa ihang na-discover nga technology nga supposedly sa pag-develop sa technology, apil na siya adto. So muna siya nga, please ato ang bantayan ang first to file rule. So patent life cycle, so concept phase, so pag-develop sa idea, pag-identify sa problem, then patentability analysis, you need to identify the novelty of your technology, the inventive steps, and industrial applicability. So part of this is the conduct of patent search. Then, after that, so mag-develop po ka sa mga patent specification, which includes nasa title, the background of invention, the summary of invention, the detailed description, the claims, and the abstract of disclosure. Then after that, patent filing. So, muna siyang i-file. So, karon ang process sa patent filing is through online. But in BISU, so natay bagong flow sa mag-file ta for IP application. So, first is, kitay si faculty sa engineering, na siya i-file nga protection mo. Doon siya una sa ilahang chair. Campus, it's chair person. It's so chairperson sa ilahang college. Then, si college chairperson mo siya mo katong application nga gi-submit sa faculty ni campus chair o itsu chair, iyan na siyang ipas ni campus itsu director, which is in the main campus si Ma'am Donna. Then si Ma'am Donna mo siya mo endorse to university itsu director for filing. Then for review, so iagi ninyo daan una sa campus itsu director. Kay sa university itsu director, ang iyang direct contact is the campus itsu director. Then after that, i-file na siya if kanang kompleto na iyang mga requirements, then ang iyang patent specification. Then after patent filing, so you will wait for a patent prosecution, which ani is katong mga patent formality examination, substantive examination. So ani nga part nga mag-response ka sa mga office actions nga madawat nimo. Like for example, sa patent, so ang process ana is after ka mag-file, wait kag pila ka months, maka-receive kag acknowledgement in accordance of filing. Then ang uban is iusahon ang acknowledgement in accordance filing o formality examination report. Ang formality examination report is ang gina-examine na is the complete sa imong complete ni sa imong documents, the forms na imong fill upan through online, then the patent specification, which includes the abstract of disclosure, the descriptions, and the claims. So, ano mo na siya, i-assess of complete ba siya. Then, i-assess, itanawon po dato if na ba siya unity of the disclosure, na ay clarity as to the terms, basin og kanang dili mo consistent sa term nga inyong gigamit. So, ila na siyang ipa-clear. So, mo na usually mga comments under formality examination. Then, sa written exam, na pwede sila ipa-appeal nga patent search and written opinion report. So, ang mga patent examiner, mag-conduct na sila og patent search. Kanang atong i-conduct nga patent search is para na sa ato nga end. Dili na siya i-required nga i-appeal og submit inig mag-file ta for protection. So, kana to as ato ra ng end nga, aron ma-assist na to daan if potential ba siya or possible ba siya nga makapasar sa inventive steps, novelty inventive steps and industrial applicability. Kay ang patent examiner, mag-conduct yun na sila og patent examination, patent search, then i-appeal na nila pada sa ang patent search o written opinion report. Ang written opinion report, adto ang ilang explanation if nakapasar ba ka, naka-meets ba ka sa requirement sa novelty, naka-meets ba ka sa requirement of inventive steps and industrial applicability. So, muna siya giterm sa part sa patent prosecution. Then for patent, so, after 18 months of publication, so you need to file for a request for substantive examination. So, mo undergo pa na siya og substantive examination report. Then after, so mag-respond ka sa ilahang mga office action. Then after, if walay response, then after if wala na yung mga comments na satisfied na sila, then nakapasar imuhang technology sa tulo ka requirements, then they will issue a notice of allowance. Bali, na sila i-issue nga allowance nga grant of patent. Then, of course, na siya mga fees. Then, patent maintenance fees is, muna siya kanang sa patent is, you need to pay the annual fees. Murag, I think, sa 5 years man siguro sa pagka-registered sa mga technology mo, bayad ka sa annuity fees sa mga technology. Kay if sa mga patent, kay if kanang dili ka kabayad ana, so pwede matanggal siya. So ma-inactive ang imong patent, so matanggal siya. Mo nang kanang 20 years nga period sa invention nga protection, pwede siya ma-lessen basta di ka makabayad sa iyang annuity fee. Pero magbayad ka, so ma-cover ni mo ang 20 years period. Then cycle na siya. Concept phase, patentability, filing, patent maintenance. So, mo siya ang patent life cycle. Then how to obtain a patent? So, okay, file a patent, then wait for examination, formality and substantive, then granting of patent, but remember to do freedom to operate search. So, freedom to operate search is mag-search ka, especially if mag-undergo na ka for commercialization sa mga technology. You need to know if naabay nagbaligya na sa mga technology to the other countries or wasa siya nga lugar. So, freedom to operate search. Then requirements is here, fill out 3 copies of patent application form. So, if mag-file ni siya manually. Pero sa karon sa taga case kay usually online na ang application, so you just accomplish 2 copies, one for you, then isa pod sa office. So patent application form, then attach the following, so specification and description of the patent. So mo ni siya ang patent specification, so dapat na siya title, a brief statement of nature and purpose, so mo na siya technical field, then brief explanation of the drawings, then complete and detailed enabling description, the distinct and explicit claim or claims which the applicant seeks to be protected, then abstract of the invention or the abstract of disclosure, then drawings of the invention, or if your technology is mga machine siya, mga device, so dapat na siya drawings. Then the fees, of course, submit the documents and the following fees. So for filing fee for invention, so small entity or big entity, so BISO is a small entity. So 2,000 filing fee up to 5 claims. So 5 claims if your application is 5 claims, so na kay 2,000 nga filing fee. Pero mula pa siya og 5 claims mo, moabot na yung mga claims og 10. Like for example, katong nasobra nga 5 is napod siya bayaran. So in exist of 5 claims, so na ay 180 per claim. Then publication fee is 920. Then if, as I said nga, after 18 months of publication, you will submit a request for substantive examination. Then napo na siya payment of 2010. Then letters, if magranta na ka, magbayad ka sa letters patent certificate, which is 600, and second publication, which is 920. Then the annuity. So napo na siya annuity fees. Pero mo ni siya, mo ni ang first na imuhang i-prepare. So, mag-file ka for IP protection, you need to pay first the filing fee. O mo exist gani siya sa 5 claims, so bayad ka sa 180 per claim and the first publication fee. So, mo ni siya una nga imuhang i-bayaran. Then, kaning substantive examination, after na ni after 18 months of publication, or pwede na pa early ka mag-request. Then, kaning letters, patent certificate, and second publication is ana na ni siya bayaran if na kay allowance nga i-grant na imuhang patent for letters patent. Sa grant na siya. So, that is for a patent. So, I hope clear about patent. Is that clear? Okay, so let's proceed to the utility model. So, under Bureau of Patent is the patents, utility model, and industrial design. The utility model is a protection that covers innovation that are not sufficiently inventive to meet the inventive threshold required for standard patent application. So, as I said, ganiha nga imuhang technology naa siya novelty pero wala lang siya, dili lang siya kapasar sa inventive steps, pero naa kay industrial applicability, so pwede siya nimo i-apply for utility model application. So imo na siyang filean og utility model application because ang requirements sa utility model application is the novelty and industrial applicability. Then ang utility model pod is wala na po na siya nag-require of substantive examination. But if you want to enforce your right, then request ka for registrability report. So it may be any useful machine, tools, product, composition, process, improvement, or part of the same that is of practical utility, functional improvement of an existing product, novelty not previously published in any form anywhere in the world, and industrial applicability. So if you file for a patent, utility model, so separate ang application sa composition and process. Like for example, naghimo ko og process of katong kuan, basta kay separate ang ihang composition of process. Like for example sa food, separate ang composition niya o separate pa ang iyang process. So, utility model is entitled to 7 years of protection from the date of filing with no possibility of renewal. So, the same with the patent nga, ang patent is 20 years lang siya, then ang dili ma-renew. So, ang utility model is 7 years and non-renewable also. Then it is inexpensive and easy to obtain, but it cannot be enforced until after registration and registrability report has been issued. A utility model application will not undergo a substantive examination. So mas lesser ang fee sa utility model compared to the patent. So distinction between the patent or utility model. So for a patent, so application published with search report after 18 months. So automatic na siya after 18 months ma-publish na imuhang technology sa IPO Gazette. Then utility model published for 1 month prior to issuance of certificate. So ang sa is before ka issuance of notice of issuance of certificate, ila pa na siyang i-publish 1 month na maka-receive ka una og notice of publication. Then inika-receive nimo sa notice of publication na siya pabayaran na to nimo daan tong issuance fee og second publication. Then ila pa nang i-post for 1 month for third party observation. Then wala gani opposition, after 1 month, then they will issue a notice of issuance of certificate. So katong notice of issuance certificate, so mo tayo imuhang i-attach together with the receipt nimo sa pagbayad sa notice of publication and issuance of certificate para ma-claim nimo ang imuhang certificate of registration for utility model. Then patent requires substantive examination. Then utility model, none. Then patent requires inventive steps. Then utility model, no inventive steps. So as long as it is novel and industrial applicability. Then hello? Ganihara ko na-unmute?
No, ma'am. Okay ra, ma'am.
Okay ra?
Naka-follow ra.
Okay. Basig ganihara ko ga yaw so waday mo makadungog. Okay. So, a patent is 20 years from filing date, then utility model is 7 years from filing date. Then patent can enforce after grant, then utility model enforcement is determined by the registrability report. Then how to obtain a patent? So file a patent this is how to obtain a UM. So of course, need to file your utility model application. Then wait for examination. So ang sa utility model is only the formality examination report. Then registration of UM. But remember to do freedom to operate search and request for registrability report if you enforce your rights. Then requirements. So same with the patents. So fill out 3 copies of the utility model application. So for us, one man siya, online man, so 2 copies. So then attach the following specification. So the title, the brief statement or the technical field, then the detailed background of the invention, detailed description, then claims, then abstract of the invention. If na drawings, then drawings of the utility model. Then subject so mo ni siyang payment. So here mas lesser ang iyahang fee. So ang filing fee is 1,720 for small entity. Then in excess of 5 claims is 120. So if your technology is mag-apply ka for a utility model, so ang drawings code niya is pwede pa din mo i-apply for industrial design. So industrial design. So industrial design refers to any composition of lines or colors or any 3-dimensional form, whether or not associated with lines or colors. So ang gina-protect for industrial design is the ornamental design of your technology or the aesthetic creation sa inyong technology. Ang iya rang forma ang gina-protect sa industrial design. The functionality, the composition sa paggamaan na nga technology is dili na siya cover sa protection sa industrial design. Like for example sa machine nga hong nasa ubos sa sibas na ay bamboo splitter adto. I think that is a product of mechanical engineering. So for industrial design, so you can file for industrial design, the ornamental design of the technology. So ang iyaharang ornamental design ang cover sa industrial design protection, but the functionality is dili na siya. So if you wish to apply also the functionality is either in either in utility model or the patent. Basta makapasar siya, if i-patent ninyo, makapasar siya sa 3 basic requirements. Then if makapasar siya sa 2, the novelty and industrial applicability. So industrial design gives special appearance to and can serve as pattern for an industrial product or handicraft aesthetic aspect of an article of a manufacture. Then the industrial sangihang period is 5 years from the filing date of the application, may be renewed for that more than 2 consecutive 5 years each by paying the renewal fees for a total of 15 years. Pero pwede ra pod og tama na pod mo sa 5 years. So, kano siya, may be renewed for not more than 2 consecutive 5 years. Basta yung total duration is 15 years. So, example here, it was already presented. Ganiha, you're the chair. And in chair is the first industrial design applied in Bisumin campus. So, I believe this is a product sa engineering, particularly industrial design. I think industrial design, if ako masayop na department. So, unless you choose is Salif. So, how to obtain a industrial design? So, type for error lang na siya. So, that is not patent, industrial design na siya. So, of course, file for a industrial design application. Then, wait for the examination, formality, and granting of industrial design. Ang industrial design is dali ra jud siya ma-grantan. So, before mo take siya og mga 6 month. Pero karon as I observe, as nami bag-ong gi-file for industrial design sa industrial design nga department, nag-file me for filing sa industrial design after 1 month na siya notice of publication. So, if wala ganin na sa correction sa inyong industrial design, so mo issue na sila og notice of publication. Dali ra kayo ang sa industrial design. Basta sufficient lang tong inyong gi-submit nga specification and the drawings dapat clear siya. So, manang dali ra kayo ang industrial design basta mag-file ta. Then, industrial design requirements, the same with the patent and utility model. Then, sa specification, so ang content sa specification for industrial design is na siya title, then brief explanation of the drawings, then the characteristic feature, if any, is optional, then the claims, the omnibus claim for industrial design. So usually, I claim the new and ornamental design. For example, I have a chair na apply for industrial design. So the claim here is stated as I claim the new and ornamental design for a chair substantially as shown and described. Then other 1 page na siya, 1 page kanang specification. So I will show sample maybe tomorrow sa example sa industrial design nga document. So sa first page katong specification na ato ang title, then brief description of the drawings. Pero ang naka-state sa brief description of the drawings kay, for example, figure 1 is muna siya ang perspective view. Figure 2, iyahang kanang side view, ingana, mga views ra niya. Then, ang ihang claim is one statement, I claim the new and ornamental design for a chair, for example, substantially as shown and described. Then the drawings is pila to ka kuan sa like for example figure 1 to figure 6. So dapat makita ang iyang side view, top view, rear view ana sa drawings. Then dapat clear pud siya. Okay, if ever di gani siya clear mo nang napag maka-receive pagka og formality examination report to clarity sa imuhang industrial design. Then the fees for industrial design is the same with the utility model. It is 1,000 filing fee is 1,720 and indexes of 5 claims 120. Then registrability reports 630. The issuance of registration is 600. Napapod na siya second publication which is 920. So representation of industrial design. So pwede nga, it could be photos, computer drawings, or drawings by hand, color, or black and white. So pwede og nakatry namin nag-apply og industrial design nga ang gigamit ran mo is photos. Pero photos siya nga cleared. Di na siya nga na. Basta klaro siya nga photos. So gi-allow ra nila na grantan na. Then computer drawings kanang using mga AutoCAD sa pag-draw sa drawings. Then, pwede po og drawings by hand, pero dapat klaro siya. Then, color or black and white. So, paper application, the design must be produced or opaque white. Paper sheet is A4 size, printed directly on 8. So, usually, sa mga patent documents is, ang gamiton nga paper is A4 size, managamit paper. Representation of the design suitable for reproduction. So, I hope it's clear for industrial design. So, I believe that's all. But before I will end my discussion, so I have here some exercise that you need to answer to assess or evaluate your learning sa the topic being discussed. Okay, ready? So, I hope to receive your answer in the chat box. First question. Lang. Nakoy pa-exercise. Term of protection for a patent is blank. Years from the filing date. So what is the answer? The term of protection for a patent is blank years from the filing date. Okay, so I have seen here 20 years from the filing date. So very good. Naminaw jud ni mga students. So here 20 years. Then 20 years from the filing date and patent is and kanang follow-up questions. Patent is renewable or non-renewable? Very good. A patent is non-renewable. So after 20 years from the filing date, so non-renewable, mahimo na siyang answer? Mahimo na siyang after ma-cover na niya ang 20 years, then non-renewable man siya, mahimo na siyang very good. Public domain, which is pwede na siya subject for modification. Okay, very good. So next question. If there is an existing can I still file patent for the same technology? Yes or no? Again, if there is an existing can I still file a patent for the same technology? Yes or no? Yes or no? So if no, why? So if no, why? So if no, so there is an existing can I still file for a patent for the same, take notes sa the same technology? Yes or no? Why? Sa may reason. Why? Nga dili na siya pwede. Okay. So, okay. I think yes, it's not. It's outside. So, so the answer is no. Kaya na may existing nga technology, nanay existing So, di nakaka-file og the same patent patent technology kay ma-question na siya as to the novelty. So, katong existing nga technology mo to siya novelty killing sa imong i-file nga patent application. Then, you cannot file multiple application in the same technology. So, muna siya bantayan. Di ka pwede nga mag-file o patent o in the same technology. So, multiple application in the same technology. So, unless o kana imuhang technology is na siya modification, na siya additional features, then pwede ka maka-file as long as that additional feature is makapasar siya as the 3 basic requirement. But here, sa question is the same technology without mentioning the additional features, then the answer is no. Pero if sa imuhang ma-develop nga new technology, na kay difference, na kay modification, then there is possibility nga maka-file ka for a patent application as long as it will pass the basic requirements with feature. Okay, so next question. Term of protection of a patent and are renewable. So it was already answered. True or false? The term of protection of patent and are renewable. So it is false because patent and utility model is non-renewable. So another is if there is an existing technology protected in the other country and not protected in the Philippines, can I still file the same application in the Philippines? If there is an existing technology protected in the other country and not protected in the Philippines, can I still file the same application in the Philippines? So if your answer is no, then why? So why? Yes, because the basis to test the novelty of your technology is worldwide. So ang pag-test sa novelty and inventive steps of your technology is worldwide siya. Any prior arts that is related to your technology before the filing date of application, worldwide ang iyang basis. So I believe that marato siya ang question. Thank you. So as I observed, so naminaw jud okay, naka-answer sa mga questions. So thank you. And that's all. If you have questions, thank you so much. So I hope you've learned about the invent patent.
Thank you, Ms. Busano, for delivering a presentation on the topic of patents. Now, we would like to open the floor to any questions or comments that our attendees may have. Please feel free to use the chat box to type in your questions and we will address them as they come in. So, you can start dropping your questions now. Okay. Or first, are you able to do that legally? Does the territorial nature of patent mean that the inventor would not have the same protection if the violators are in a different country? Are there potential loopholes that the inventor should be wary of? So that question is from James Lord.
Yes, we all know that daghang mga Chinese nga mga products, 'di ba? So, ang kasagaran po sa mga application sa mga sa mga products sa Chinese is usually protected ra pod sa ilaha sa sa China ra pod usually. So, we've conducted a patent mining reports on rice. So, usually daghan kung may kag application on mga technologies related to rice is usually ang mogawas jud is mga from China, Japan, and usually jud mga Chinese. Then ang maka-state jud as to status of application is it is only protected in China. So pwede na nimo ang concept man sa territoriality is the basis for exclusivity right is ana ra jud og asa ka sa territoriality ra siya ug asa ka nag-file for protection adto ra pod cover ang imong technology. Then but as to the novelty, so worldwide siya ang novelty. So usually sa Chinese kay uban kay sa China ra pod protected ilang technology kay ang Chinese magud is murag dali ra sila maka-modify og mga technology or products.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I hope natubag ang question niyo, Mr. James Norberto Daza. So, any other questions? So, I think na naman no. So, we should proceed to
There are
okay.
still questions
Put up
here.
question from yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Are the examiners asking persons skilled in the field to review the evidence that if pseudo, they have a catalog of qualified reviewers? What to stop them from lying about the review?
So, no. So, ang sa I po feel is na siya yung mga examiner. Na sila yung mga trained nga mga patent examiner. So, na patent examiner, na examiner nga for patent siya, then sa iya pong specific nga like for example sa mechanical, sa pharmaceutical, sa mga agricultural products. So, na siya mga examiner. Then, og utility model na po na siya mga examiner, sa trademark na po na siya mga examiner. So, ang sa question ni sir, so the examiner, dili na sila mag-ask sa mga persons skilled in the field na kung ba siya yan na. So, mag-base na sila sa mga prior arts. Then, i-ask nila og kanang, it is obvious ba siya to persons skilled in the art na ilahang. Is that not is hindi na sila mo ingan nga mag-invite sila og kanang person skilled in the art to evaluate the inventive steps of your technology. So there will mag-base sila sa kanang mga prior arts if that technology ba is obvious ba siya sa mga experts. Okay? Wala siya nga dapat ang inyong claims dapat clear and concise, klaro siya. Then ang inyong claims must be supported sa inyong detailed description. Kay kana inyong claims mo na siya i-examine sa mga patent examiner if that claims na ba siya obvious ba siya to person skilled in the art. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. I hope. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so I guess natubag ang naman sa pangutanan ni James Lord, no? So, Shall we proceed to our next topic, ma'am, or mag-break sa?
I I think half day raman ta as to the agreement sa mga instructors sa CEA half day. Then if we proceed to um turn na natay 30 minutes, dili na siya makaya kay if mo proceed ta sa introduction to pattern search, so dapat mo continue ta dayon sa accessing database niya. Medyo kuha na siya sa time. So probably mga tomorrow na ang kato introduction to patent search, then accessing patent databases. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So we will
So,
resume tomorrow.
thank you once again to our speakers, to Miss Alisa May Bosano and Miss Maria Donna F. Guates for sharing your expertise with us, and thank you to all our attendees for your active participation in this webinar workshop. So as students, you are the future innovators and entrepreneurs of tomorrow, and patent search is a critical skill to have in your toolkit. By conducting a thorough patent search, you can gain a better understanding of the existing technologies in your field, identify potential areas for innovation, and avoid infringing on existing patents. We hope you found this webinar helpful, and we wish you all the best in your future academic and professional endeavors. So thank you for joining us today. So before you leave, we have this attendance no sa babaw, the registration link. So please fill in the information needed no kay paano siya apil na sa atong requirements for our subject. Okay, so sorry.
Or maybe na announcement ninyo hang instructor
Okay,
for tomorrow.
advisors. Is there any announcement, ma'am?
So ako na lang mag-announce. So tomorrow for our activity tomorrow. So please be ready sa inyong technology. So I believe murag since fourth year and third year here, but mostly fourth year. The subject for the patent search is your thesis, right? So i-ready lang inyong thesis, the information sa inyong thesis para for our patent search activity tomorrow. So we'll have the online accessing of patent database and on how to prepare a patent search report and patent search worksheet. Muna siya ito ang buhaton tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you again, Ma'am Busano and Miss Maria Donna F. Botes. So we can now take your. We have a great morning of discussion and learning, but it's time for a well-deserved break. We will now break for lunch and reconvene back here tomorrow. Please take the time to enjoy your meal, mingle with your peers, and perhaps attend to other important tasks. Thank you for your attention and active participation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Saan yung group number, guys?
Kanang good noon, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Saan yung group number?
Undoy is kanang for example sa inyong research group bitaw kung nag-refer na sa inyong study nga mo inyong work on
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.